So with the spring patch content being tested on CTE, included in this content is a new game mode coming to Battlefield 4 called Gunmaster, which you may have played in Battlefield 3, even though it doesn't work exactly the same as how it did in that game, but the way it functions is pretty much the same. Also, on top of that, we have an alternative mode to Gunmaster called the Troll preset, as well as other various presets. Like I said in my last video, I don't know if the Troll preset will make its way over to retail BF4 and might just be for CTE, but it's basically a more casual, goofy version of Gunmaster that involves you needing to kill each other with things like the ballistic shield and defibs and weapon setups that aren't exactly made for close range, like for example the M98B with the 40 times scope. Anyway though, let's talk about how Gunmaster actually works. Basically, you join a team deathmatch type scenario and you need to simply just kill the enemy team with whatever weapon is presented to you. When you take out 2 enemy targets, you move up a rank or you need to use a different weapon. You need to keep doing this until one player has reached a final stage and he needs to get a knife kill if he's good enough. And so far, from what I've experienced, I've played about 7 games of Gunmaster on CTE and it can get so goddamn intense and exciting, especially if you and a couple of other players are on the final stages. As for weapons, I'm not going to really go over each one on offer because I imagine it will be changed and rearranged at a later date. But basically we start off with sidearms like the P226, then moving all the way up to the Unica 6, then onto some PDWs and carbines like the A91 and UMP45, then some shotguns, and towards the end we get access to assault rifles and LMGs. There's also a couple of bolt action rifles in the mix as well. And like I said before, the very last stage you only have access to a knife. That's just a standard weapon selection. There's also a few groups like the DLC preset, which involves the DLC weapons obviously, including the damn railgun, which by the way, this might sound surprising, it's by far the hardest stage, well at least for me anyway. Within the close and medium ranges, the time it takes before the railgun can actually fire once you pull the trigger is really long and will get you killed so many times, which is really bad, especially in Gunmaster, because you're essentially giving out stages to the enemy team. So this game mode requires very smart moves and good positioning, so you aren't just getting killed in stupid ways, or else you're going to lose the game. There's also a pistol only preset, but I haven't yet had the chance to playtest that, and the last one we have is the Troll preset, which I'll go over soon. However, as for negatives about this game mode, I know some are going to get changed sometime soon, but I really do think the more powerful weapons like the assault rifles and LMGs should be at the beginning of the round, and leave the PDWs and sidearms to the last stages, because the one problem is, if you join a Gunmaster game halfway into it and you only have a pistol while most of the other players have a carbine or assault rifle, it puts you at a massive disadvantage to the point it's next to impossible to catch up unless you get lucky and manage to flank the enemy team and you have a whole bunch of enemy players that are completely oblivious to the minimap. By making it easier at the start, then making it harder towards the end, it will intensify the game mode even more because it's really going to separate the not so skilled players to the highly skilled players. If you manage to make it all the way to the end and win, I'm sure you deserve the crown as a Gunmaster. Also, another point I really didn't like when it comes to the bolt action. Let's say you miss a headshot and you just land a body shot, dealing 95 damage, which leads you to get one of those assist count as kill, which I'm pretty sure we've all gotten many times in the past. The problem is, when this happens, it doesn't count towards you progressing the stages. That means, well, at the moment anyway, when you're at the bolt action stages, you need to get a headshot or else you're not going to advance. Unless you're in very close range, and you should manage a one shot to the chest. Although I believe the squad upgrades still work, which means people will be using the defensive perk, and that's another massive negative. I really do hope DSLA just disable squad upgrades. There's a few other small negatives here and there, but I need to remember this is pre-alpha stages, so I don't expect everything to be perfect, and I do trust DSLA to tweak the game mode to the point where it's pretty much on par with how it was in Battlefield 3. But overall, like I said, it's extremely intense, exciting game mode, even more so if you manage to win the game, which I only managed to do once, as you can see here. Anyway, over to the more goofy, fun Gunmaster Troll preset. I only managed to play a single round of this version of Gunmaster, and even though there's only 4 of us, it was still pretty damn fun. To actually even get this preset to work, it required a lot of effort by a really awesome guy called Mark, who helps out various community members like myself managing our CTE servers and making sure Procon supports all the latest maps that DSLA put on CTE. But as for the weapons, some setups are actually not too bad. You might actually use them in a normal game. The first stage, as you can see here, you need to kill each other with the ballistic shield, then you need to move on to the phantom bow, which honestly really wasn't that hard. Then we have the Hawk 12 shotgun with the frag rounds, which got me killed a lot, and pretty much from there onwards it's basically assault rifles and carbines with scopes not really designed for close range. Unfortunately, the phantom bow shows itself again, this time around with the explosive tip at stage 12, which was really hard to even kill one person. With its long reload time, it's a real damn hassle to make sure you stay effective. Though the hardest stage was stage 14, we have the M98B with the goddamn 40 times scope, which is a massive pain in the ass to even land in a shot. In fact, I tried to hip fire a few times. That seems to be a little more effective than trying to deal with that huge zoom. Also, the last stage was also equally just as hard. Stage 16 requires for you to use a defibs, as you can see here. I think this is possibly the worst way to kill someone. Not only do you have to wait for the damn things to charge up enough for you to even do enough damage, but when it's charging you can't run, so if you manage to get close to someone you slow down when you start charging. And as for the final stage, it's a bipod knife, as you can see. Anyway guys, that's it for today's video. Make sure to let me know your thoughts about the Gunmaster game mode down below. Also, just an update for Hardline. Some of you have been asking for more Hardline videos. I'm currently working on unlock guides for the Syndicate weapons. I just finished the mechanic one and still getting footage for the double barrel shotgun. Also, I'm in the middle of doing a UMP 45 K10 alternative review, seeing as the K10 is going to get a pretty big nerf in the upcoming patch. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Oh, damn. I got a whole 2 kills.